Hey, what's going on, guys? Kazu4 here. So after I finished my the Blaster Blade Exceed issue video, I received quite a fair bit of flag from you guys saying that I was being too complaining and that the deck was good enough. And what really sparked my curiosity to go and get this check was actually from this guy called Prankster271 who commented saying that it's actually one at the top, and he asked me to stop being so naggy about Blaster Blade being trash. Where I went back to do some self-reflection and found out that all the fights that I did on that day were actually with very controlling archetypes. That means with Shiranui, Nubatama, Narukami, and even Link Joker for that matter. And that was why I felt it was really kind of trash, because I lost all of them and it's really hard to beat them with board control deck like Blaster Blade. So when I was told that this has actually won tournaments first place and it's actually top the meta, I was pretty surprised, and I had to do some experimentation myself, of course with the tips that I gave of resource management. And it's actually kind of true, because if you don't come across any cancer deck or any non-retiring deck, this deck actually holds itself pretty well. And the reason for that is because this deck has quite a fair bit of adaptability. Having no concrete strategy gives it the ability to adapt around your opponent's strategy, which reminds me a lot of the Swordsman of Light deck. Yeah, the deck I hated the most in Royal Paladin history is actually the most similar to this. The only reason why I bothered to keep and play my Swordsman of Light deck for 2 years consecutive, 1.5 years consecutively was because of its adaptability. When I was at a shop once, one of the opponents commented that my deck was trash because they had no real strategy. I could see where it's coming from, because Swordsman of Light really is kind of trash, but I beat his deck after that because it's really quite easy to adapt to a strategy as long as you know what clan you're playing beforehand, of course lah. But also if you have been playing Royal Paladin quite some time, it's quite easy to really think on the spot and really do it. So that was one thing, right? So the Blaster Blade Exceed actually is quite good, and I've come up with 2 ways to fight well practically every deck in the meta or non-meta, and I guess that's why this thing. Of course, some people may have already invented this strategy or what. So, you know, I'm just discovering it. I've not been playing Blaster Blade for a very long time. I mean, I played Swordsman of Light up till, December? Then I stopped saving up for this deck. So, I've really been out of touch with Blaster, and I've not been playing at my local shop that often. I've been going to other shops, asking people to challenge me, not in the shop. So, yeah. Also, for those of you who have been hating on my videos, like you don't like some things I said, I apologize if I've offended you. But if you're hating it for no good reason, well, I'm not going to ask you to stop, because haters have to hate, but I'm just going to say one thing: you're really wasting your time. So there are 2 strategies mainly to Blaster Blade, and that's why I really like. He can play a rush deck, and he can really do quite a good mid-range. So I'm going to dive into each of these and really rework out what I missed out with the Blaster Blade issue. It's not really the Blaster Blade issue, it's more of the issue with the meta. Of course, I'm not going to go into a whole sort rant about the meta, because the meta really is a weird place to be. But of course, it can survive. This Blaster Blade can survive. You just need to really pull through together, save up a little bit more, and it can survive. So the 2 methods that Blaster Blade really depends on for its survivability would be the first option, which is mid-range, which is what I mentioned. Mid-range is how normal people play Vanguard, i.e. normally striding, normally playing, normally having fun, no rush, no building up for extreme late games. So in the case of playing a mid-game, people like Gangster Peace Saver will come to mind, because these are put decent pressure and have decent after effects, like the resist, which really helps those annoying G-Guards that burn away during your turn, and your Blaster Blade can stick around longer for more attacks. So that is mid-range. I don't really elaborate on mid-range. Mid-range is practically a normal Vanguard fight, as long as, because it's stupid cannon. I'm borrowing it, that's why it's kind of flimsy, and I'm not really doing this in a comfortable recording environment. I really have no choice. So anyway, sorry for that. Anyway, like I said, mid-range is really just playing a regular Vanguard game. Of course, do I count Gear Chronicles mid-range then? No, because as we all know, they're building up for one of those really cool strikes to really wipe out you instantly. So that's really not considered mid-range in my opinion. Mid-range is just dragging out the game regularly and playing a normal deck. With mid-rangers usually have the ability to finish their opponent any time of the game in between. That means not when you have less than 10 cards in deck, meaning endgame, or when you're being mowed down in grade 2, which is rush. Speaking of rush, to beat cancer, you need to play cancer. So rush is the second choice for this deck. Obviously, you just saw the 2 biggest culprits in here. And Rush really has quite a fair bit of its drawbacks. It really can drain resources really quickly, but as long as you have quite a fair bit of these guys, the original grade 2 Blaster Blades in your deck, you should be fine. Just constantly resourcing on Leo and putting a lot of grade 1 and grade 2s up on the board, and even grade 0s like Margle, you can really build up quite a formidable board to fight on an early stage. And if you track them at grade 3, sure, they can strike that Sabreeze, but really it's not that effective as going out against Gear Chronicle, where everything is about the generation break and the generation zone. So by trapping them in the grade 2 area, they can't really get out of it. And even if they do manage to get to grade 3, well, the worst come to worst, they still can't strike. So they can ride Chrono Jet, and their grade 3 units can punch your Blaster Blade down because it's 9k, but it's not that big of a drawback. It still can be done. The Rush can be done. Have I really tried Rush out for myself? Well, I tried it once or twice. Not as effective in my opinion, but I've seen my friends really mow down their opponents really quickly. So I just want to mention Rush. Now, other tips that I did not get to mention in the Blaster Blade video. By the way, although the Blaster Blade video was kind of salty, and just like the Overlord video that I made was also salty, I do feel that there is quite a fair bit of takeaways that can be done, and I will summarize it in this video since this video is not salty. So first of all, you should, by all means, ensure you ride a grade 2 Blaster Blade. Now, there's a reason behind this, because if you can ride the grade 2 over the grade 3, not only does it look extremely Aichi Sendui, but if you ride this guy, Bargle, so it looks, if your soul looks like this, then this can happen. I'm pretty sure those who have played the Legend deck will know what I'm referring to. This can happen properly, because Religious Soul Saver requires 2 more units with Blaster and the Soul. Now, many people played this along Majesty Lord Blaster, which is reasonable for the dragging in BB and BD to the Soul, so it really made a lot of sense to play this in your Majesty Lord Blaster decks. But I feel that many people don't use this card that often, like based on the deck reviews I have seen. Many people don't use the original Soul Saver Dragon evolution thingies a lot, which is kind of a shame. Sure, I only use one of these guys now, but it's still a formidable presence. I still don't agree with Myret's cost of Soul Blasting 3, which is really quite heavy as a first strike, especially in Vanguard G. Of course, in the original Vanguard, everything is possible, but this guy for Counter Blast 1 in a G Persona Blast is not that heavy of a cost. All you need to do is just make sure this happens, which is not that difficult. There's 4 of this in the deck, and I added in one more, so there's 4 BBs in the deck. And you have Exceed, so there really shouldn't be much of a problem. This is a really good strategy for mid-range, by the way. If you're playing mid-range, try and get this soul to happen, because this soul can grant you that Religious Soul Saver, which is good, because honestly, if you don't G-Guard before Gangster Peace Saver, you don't have a lot of good first try options. Now, so just to recap, this is what the G-Zone looks like. So, one of this, one of this. I'm not going to touch on G-Guards. One of this, 2 of these, and then 4 of this. Now, Alfred Holy Saver is the next card I'm going to talk about for mid-range, so everybody else, please move aside. Thank you. Is this how I put it down? Okay, so next guy I want to talk about is Alfred Holy Saver and the Blaster Blades. Mainly, when I mean Blaster Blades, I'm obviously referring to the grade 2 and the grade 3. Now, forgive me for my deck, because this thing got me shuffled after my much experimentation. Oh yeah, about the experimentation thing, when I meant that I went to fight against every other deck that I know about. I fought a total of 19 matches. I fought a Bermuda Triangle, Chaos Messiah, Chiranui, Go Paladin, Gurgit, Go Paladin Liberators. I also fought against Nova Grappler. I fought quite a fair bit of those. I also fought Vanquisher, which was really painful. Yeah, so I really went out to find the most of each. I even fought, I think I just mentioned, I fought Bermuda Triangle. So that I really did quite a fair bit of experimentation. Make sure that this video doesn't end up as bad as the last one. So, Blaster Blade Stride skill should be used to search up another Exceed for guaranteed strike for the next turn. Or you could search out for this guy if you need an extra rare card. Of course, the first strategy is more preferable, but if you happen to have a whole hand of Leos, grade 3s, then go ahead, search out this guy, there's no harm. Of course, if you still want another one of him, even though you have a lot of Leos, that's seriously up to you. Is this a foiled one? Yeah, I just pulled the foiled one twice out of my hand. Now comes Alfred Holy Saver. Alfred Holy Saver, by granting a unit twin drive, he can grant either Blaster Blades, so either grade 2 or grade 3. But that's not all. Okay, it gives the unit 3k and the twin drive, and Counterblast 1, flip 1 Alfred Holy Saver, and then drop 1. Now, your hand will lose 1 card, so make sure you drop one of those cards that you're not really playing that often. And then after that, you get a net total of 5 cards back. You get draw trigger 6 and so on and so forth. But 5 cards net for a triple drive, and if you do this filter out the Exceeds, Blaster Blades, and if you use other cards like say Marin, or where's the other guy? This guy. You can really filter out the units, and you can get a heck load of trigger units in your 5 drive in total, and that's really devastating for your opponent, and it can really do triple drive. I know the reason why I know this is not just because of playing this deck, it's because of my experience with a Gurgit deck. I used to play Gurgit, but I gave up a bit after GBT10. It got too expensive for me. So yes, I repeat again, I'm a budget player. Not everybody is like those people out there who can afford so many cards. No, some people play budget. This deck's not budget, by the way. This deck is considered normal deck. 1 GR is considered normal for people, unless you have what, 17 GRs, and well done, you're officially too rich for yourself, and you can't even have 17 GRs, so what are you doing? So moving back to this, if you do filter out, like I said, I used to play Gurgit, and filtering out the cards with Gurgit, because practically you recall like 1 to 2 units from your strike, just by strike itself, and then you have your own grade 4 strikes abilities, which can really call out quite a fair bit, and Unite tends to keep them away so you can open up your slots and call more and more. And this really filters the deck, and especially with that Glorious Rain Dragon. You can check out my Paladin deck profile to see Glorious Rain, by the way. So the updated one, of course. So with Glorious Rain, it filters a very large number. With Gurgit, I used to be able to call 7 units just with 1 Glorious Rain flip. Not even talking about the next Glorious Rain flip, which will probably bore all of you. So and then after that, when it started to filter, I really got a lot of heal triggers, and that's how I really won the game. And it was really scumbag for thing. But then if you remember all the grade 1 salty Grand Blue rushes, then you will remember how I feel, and then you remember that's not really scumbag. So back to this can really filter out a lot of the triggers that you've left behind for the setup. So of course, you can just use it normally without putting much thought into it, without much setup. That's also fine. But to maximize it, do filter your deck for the setup of Alfred Holy Saver. I don't really have a lot of stuff left to talk about. Oh, there's one more that I didn't get to talk about much. I did mention him in the previous video, and that's Samuel. Now, like I said, the meta is full of bot control, so just play one of him if you really have that space and that extra bit of cash, or if you just happen to have him lying around from Altmile, do put him into the Blaster Blade decks. He doesn't get the whole saver thing. And oh yeah, the other card to add is a Generation Break 8. I don't have Generation Break 8. If I do get it, I will show it in this video, in the next video, and I will talk about its synergy with this deck. So never mind, back to what I have. Counterblast 2 is not that heavy, considering this deck does have counter charges, and to make it better, if you do come across regular decks that don't mow down your rear guards, like say you're fighting Nova Grappler deck, or a Gold Paladin deck, or just a regular New Nectar, this is devastating. That 1 damage in a blaster deck is really the end of the world for anybody who comes across it, because like we all know, Liu likes to rush, and then we have other cards who play mid-range, so everything in the Blaster Blade deck just goes together as long as you don't bump into Gear Chronicle. And Samuel kind of fulfills that as well. If you do manage to build your board, 5 cards, not too difficult, especially when you have, I'm gonna find him again, very good, Stardust and Marin. Do comment in the section below if Marin's a boy or girl. I really can't remember. I think it is a boy. Oh well, doesn't matter. So these guys really fill up your board pretty well. At a decent counterblast of 1 having Generation Break, they can fill up the boards relatively easy, and that helps Samuel a lot, as well as all the other saver cards that give it 5k. You know, the Holy Villagers. I'm not gonna pull them up again, too boring. So really, Samuel can have a devastating effect because of the because of the extra damage. Of course, the only problem is it's you need 5 or more, and your opponent must have 4 or less. So you can't have the opponent have 5 damage, do this, and expect them to die. This isn't Exodia, guys. But you know, every damage counts, and Samuel proves that. Do not play more than one Samuel in the deck, because very high chance you will not get the chance to repeat Samuel's skill again. And you know, it's just count as 2. You don't have to have 1, 2 of this. So if you just play one Gaslock Peace Saver and you're looking to make 16, then just play him. So you know, 2 and you're done. And they're both on horses. So yeah guys, that wraps up my Blaster Blade Exceed Reworks video. So I really apologize for the previous video, which I was pretty salty. I now truly know for myself the potential Blaster Blade can achieve. Of course, am I 100% happy with it? Well, it's definitely better than Swordsman of Light. And the adaptability of this deck has been proven to me. So you know, I will make a commitment not to make rash judgments about card anymore, especially with what I did with Blaster Blade Exceed. But you know, the thing is, we should all learn to be able to move past our mistakes and edit, and that's what I've just done in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Do let me know also in the comments below if you'd like to see the Vermilion deck profile, which I'm still holding back, because a lot of you are saying it's not meta, it's not meta. Yeah, it's not meta, but you know, it's a fun deck. And I'm really considering putting it up. So do let me know if you do want to see the video put up. Then you know, put it down in the comments below. If I do hit a certain number that I'm looking for, then I'll upload it within the next 3 weeks. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.